Our team coverage continues with CCTV's Jack Barton. He's live for us in Kiev. Jack, bring us up to date on the international response to the situation in Ukraine, and that, of course, means both from Russia and from the West.
Well, that's right. We've had a positive response from the US as well as from the European Union, as we just heard there. Catherine Ashton, the foreign policy chief, is here today. But Russia has, for the first time, really laid out its views of what it thinks has unfolded here. Dmitry Medvedev, the Russian Prime Minister, after those comments went on to say that the Kremlin sees what happened here as a real threat to Russian interests. This comes against the backdrop of ongoing scuffles here in the east of the country between those who are opposed to the ousted president and those who still support him, most of whom identify themselves as Russian. This is nowhere more so the case as in the Crimea, which is home to a large Russian Navy base guarded by about 25,000 Russian troops. So the tensions remain there. Dmitry Medvedev went on to say that the Kremlin, that Russia would not be recognizing the interim government, even if that comes into place tomorrow. He made it unclear if this would still be the case after presidential elections. But this is a big concern for Ukraine. Its economy is still very much tied into Russia, especially when it comes to gas imports. And so Russia is likely now to either raise the price, which has been kept low, or, as it has done in the past, cut those gas supplies. And that does represent a real threat to Ukraine, not just for the people, of course, it will cause hardship, but economically.
Right, Jack, and we've had weeks of turmoil there in Ukraine. Are there any indications that tensions may have eased enough so that daily life for ordinary Ukrainians can start returning to normal?
Well, that's right. When the former Prime Minister, Yulia Tymoshenko, was freed and returned here, she told people to stay down in the square until the president was elected, until the reforms had really been put in place. And that's what other protest leaders have been saying as well. But really today, for the first time, while there are still self-defense units down on the immediate barricades around the squares, we see those barricades that are leading out in the perimeter, they've now been abandoned. There's nobody guarding them. And certainly there's far fewer people down there than we've seen in the past few weeks. Now, around the square, we've seen shops opening back up again. The ATMs are working. Out in the city, we even saw a few police for the first time since last Friday. So slowly, life is coming back into the city here. It's way too early to call it life as normal again, but compared to the past few weeks, certainly there is a relative sense of calm and a relative sense of normality. People going back to work here in the capital, Kiev.
Okay, thanks, Jack. Jack Barton there reporting from Kiev.